welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys my very first cleaning video, and this is actually the very last video I did before I gave birth to little Emma. So I'm actually still pregnant in this video. So in honor of that, I'm actually accompanying this video with the parent tag, which actually has some very interesting questions about parenting and babies and all that. So I thought it would make the video a little more interesting. So if you want to see my very first cleaning video and want to learn a little bit more about my parenting and babies and all that stuff, then just keep on watching. Okie dokie, so we are starting off this cleaning video. So obviously first I'm just got to show you guys a before. This was actually like post Dallin's like Halloween party and my birthday, and just like being 9 months pregnant and not wanting to clean. Like it was a total mess. Like we had like 2 incredibly busy weeks like back to back, and I just was not about it. So this is like, it's pretty crazy to see my place like this. So this is all the tidying up before I ended up doing like my deep clean before I actually went into labor. But anyway, so let's get started on some of these questions, because there's actually a lot of questions and I just found these questions online. I searched on YouTube for like a parent tag and I think I only found one. So here we go. So first question, how many children do you have? And I have now 2 little babies. So I have one little boy who just turned 3, and now I have a technically 6-week-old little girl. So I have 2 little babies. Number 2. What are your proudest and most frustrating moments as a parent? So probably one of the proudest, I think that one just changed. I would have probably had said breastfeeding my firstborn for a year, because that first like 2 months trying to breastfeed, oh my gosh, it was just debilitating pain for every single feeding, and it was so bad. So the fact that I like went through that, and then I pumped at work and I went through all that, yeah, that would have totally made that like my proudest moment. But I think it just got replaced because I ended up having my little girl naturally, and that's never something I would have imagined, or to be completely honest, even wanted. But the fact that I did it and I was able to do it, it makes me very proud. So I think it might have just changed. I think having her naturally might actually be my proudest moment as a parent. And then my most frustrating moments, I think it was entering this like the terrible 2s, and actually it's kind of like it was like the late 2s into these early 3 stage. It's just been a little bit more challenging. I think it's also the fact that I was super pregnant when Dallin was in his late 2s, and then obviously now I have a newborn, so it's just a little bit more difficult right now. So I find myself having to say no a lot, and it's a little more frustrating because, you know, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. So I think that the most frustrating is dealing with these terrible 2s / early 3 stage. Question number 3, how do you discipline your child or children? So it's kind of changed. So we were definitely about kind of more like at the time out kind of technique. But like I said, this like the last little bit just been, I don't know, it's just been a little bit more difficult with Dal. So I feel like we really need to like talk to him a lot more. And timeout doesn't, not that it doesn't work, but like it doesn't work as well as it used to, in that he could be just like separated from a situation and it act more as a distraction from whatever activity he was doing that we didn't want him to do. Because once timeout is done now, he still wants to kind of go back to whatever was a problem to begin with. So I think it's kind of changing, and it kind of makes sense, right? Like I bet discipline over the years is probably going to change, but we're trying to make sure he just really understands why he can't do something. And so yeah, so that's kind of what we're working on right now. Number 4, do you co-sleep? So that's kind of interesting. So with my first baby, my husband and I were like the strictest parents you can imagine. And he was in his pack and play from day one. And then we transitioned him into his crib when he was about 3 months old, I think. So with Emma, I don't know what it was, but I just like, I couldn't let go of her. Like the thought of her being in a pack and play, like away from me, kind of made me sad and stressed me out a bit, which is, I don't know why. And then also, I think postpartum recovery for me was a little bit more difficult for me this time. I don't know why. So it was easier to use this like co-sleeping bassinet thing in. You put it in the bed, and she kind of has like her own little bed in your bed. And we were doing that for a little bit, and that was kind of like my experience with co-sleeping. Yeah, so we actually ended up doing that for a little bit with Emma, until now that I feel a little bit more comfortable putting her in a pack and play. So yeah, but I did for Emma for a little bit, not for Dallin. What is your one must-have piece of baby equipment? So I think it was probably this little like bouncer thing that we found. So another thing with Emma is like I find myself holding her a lot more than I did with Dell. I think with Dallin at first I really got that idea stuck in my head from other people that if you like hold your baby too much, like you'll kind of spoil them. And like sure, maybe it's true to a point, but like this time around seeing that, I don't know if I totally believe that. I kind of am taking advantage of my little newborn and holding her a lot more. Um, but it also like makes it difficult to like put her down sometimes. So one thing that I found that she really enjoys to be put down on is like a very inexpensive bouncer from Amazon. I think it was like $25 or maybe $30 because we got the pink one, but really it's just like a little super simple bouncer chair thing, and it has like a little mobile on the top, and it vibrates, and it's very comfortable for her, and she really likes it. So I think that would probably this time around be like my number one. Oh, actually, one more, a boppy. If you're breastfeeding, a boppy, like a boppy, or the other pillow, like my breast friend, I think it's called. One of those for breastfeeding literally was a total game changer for me. Once with Dallin, I ended up getting a boppy. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not have this for so many months? So yeah, a boppy for sure. Number 6, name one thing you bought before you had your baby and you never ended up using. The thing that comes to mind, it's like a wipe holder, but it's like heated, so you can heat up your wipes. We actually only used that for like a tiny bit, and then we're like, yeah, this sucks. Because by it heating up, it would dry out the wipes. So it ended up just being like counterproductive. So we actually ended up using that for a tiny bit amount, but really we never used it again, and I never used it for Emma. Number 7, have you always wanted kids? How many more do you plan on having? I've always wanted kids. I always wanted definitely 2 kids. Um, I always wanted them, and I wanted them relatively young. Um, so far we're on track. But something new is like, I think after having my kids, especially now after Emma, I'm actually open to a third. It does feel right, and it does feel like that's probably what I'll do, or what I would want. We'll see, right? Anything can happen in life. Number 8, do you think your relationship with your spouse has changed since you had children? Better or worse? 100% has changed, but I think for a better. I think we've definitely matured a little bit more in our relationship, and I think we've also learned to kind of drop the more just like the more insignificant annoyances, because you're literally not worth it. And you really notice that and realize that when you have kids and your limited time together, kid free, I guess, you don't have that much time where you guys can just really enjoy yourselves and have a conversation without being interrupted. So being annoyed at little things is kind of pointless. So I think it's definitely it's definitely helped us a lot more. I think it's definitely brought us closer together. And it'd be crazy to say that kids can't change a relationship. So yeah, I think it's definitely changed it for the better. Number 9, date nights. How many nights or days per month? So here is one example of it maybe hurting the relationship a little bit. So before kids, we used to always have a date night at least once a week. Always. And then with Dallin, I think we still tried to do that at the beginning, but you know, as time went on, it just got a little bit more difficult. And like now, since Emma, it's a little bit harder. But I will say, even though we don't have like designated date nights as often, we still spend a lot of time together in the evenings. We try and watch something together as a family or something. So date nights, they've kind of diminished. Maybe we'll get one like, you know, once a month or something, where it's like an actual date night without kids or something. But yeah, so that's kind of changed a little bit. But we do get to do like mini dates or unofficial dates in the evenings a little bit more often. Number 10, how is your relationship with your friends since having a child? I guess it's changed a little bit just because I can't do everything I would want to do with my friends. There were definitely events where they would invite me to, and it just wasn't practical for me to go because I had a little one. So I can't do all of the events that I would want to have or that I would want to go to. But my real friends are still there, and I think it's solidified the fact that some of these friends are real friends, because even though we don't get to hang out as much as we'd want to, we can just like pick up wherever we left off. How many cars does your family have? So at the beginning of the year we had 2, and one was a lease, and our lease was coming to an end. And because I was home, I was like, it doesn't really make sense for us to have 2 cars at this point. So we ended up just like letting that lease come to an end, and then whenever if I decide to go back to work, then we'll probably just get another car at that point. So right now we just have 1. Number 12, dream vacation with your kids and one without the kids. So with the kids, I love Disney. So we took Dallin to Disney last year, I think it was. So my dream vacation with both of them would probably be to Disney again. There's just something so magical about Disney. So definitely want to take them to Disney. And then one without the kids, we've been talking about like maybe like if it was ever possible, because we would have to leave the kids for a while, you know, but to make the trip worth it. But like go to like Greece or go to like Italy or France is pretty cliche, but I mean that would be super awesome to do. But especially now with COVID, yeah, I don't know when that would ever happen. But either way, it wouldn't happen for a long time because I don't feel comfortable leaving my kids for that long at this point. So, but yeah, but that would be a dream vacation for us. Where do you shop for your kids? So I always used to like swear by the clearance section of Target, and I thought it was like the place to go, right? And I still think it is, because you can find so many good things on sale. So I would always definitely try and buy things on sale. But recently I went into the store. It was like a thrift store for kids, and I had never considered doing that, and I don't really know why not, because I love thrifting. I think it's so much fun to like go and find cool things. But for some reason I thought it would be like, you know, I don't know about doing that with my kids' clothes. But I ended up going to like a children's thrift store, and I thought it was so cool. So obviously just make sure that the items look very well kept, and like a lot of them always have tags on them too. So I would just find for like the best pieces. And not only are you saving so much money, but you can find some cool things too. So I would definitely say give thrifting for kids' clothes a chance. And obviously anything Carter's, I always think is so adorable. Number 14, favorite mommy makeup and skincare products. So right now my everyday kind of foundation is, I think it's the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I think it's Maybelline. And I also for like years and years and years, my favorite moisturizer has been one from Mary Kay. Like my mom used to sell that when I was little, and to this day, that is still my favorite foundation, or sorry, my favorite moisturizer. And then like concealer. As a mommy, when I'm trying to go out and not look like completely crazy, concealer is a must. And my favorite concealer right now is the Tarte Shape Concealer. I forget what it's called. Shape something. So that one, for sure, is my favorite concealer. So those are kind of my musts right now. Since becoming parents, do you notice you act more like your own mom or dad? I think I have a little bit of both. So a little bit of my mom, in wanting to have my home like super nice and clean all the time and like perfect, and then like my dad and wanting to be like playful with my kids. So I do see a little bit more of them coming out, which I think is pretty cool. Piercing a baby's ears, do or don't? For me, yes, and I feel so bad about it, but like I'd rather do this now and then have her ears already pierced than her realizing she wants her ears pierced at 12 and then she like fully feels the pain and everything. So if I do it now, I feel like I can take care of it. She won't remember. It'll be done. It'll be fine. And she can't localize pain at this point, so hopefully it won't be too bad. So for me personally, I am about piercing a baby's ears if that's something that the mom wants to do. Bath or shower? I think I prefer shower. It says for you and children. So for me, I prefer showers. Interesting with Dallin, when he was super little, we used to just shower with him. We wouldn't do bathtub baths. And it would be so much. I would think it's so much easier to take a shower with your toddler. I thought it was a lot easier. But now we do baths for Dallin, so that's kind of changed. Is mom back to her pre-baby weight? So my goal is actually pre-first baby weight. So definitely not there yet, but that is actually my goal this time around. Like I would love to be pre-first baby weight. College dreams. Do you expect your kids to go to college, or would you let them decide for themselves? I think I would definitely push college for them, and I would want them to know from early on that that would be like kind of a dream of mine, especially if they went to me and Tyler's alma mater. But if they came to me and decided, when they were in high school or whatever, and told me that they had a different plan and they wanted to do something different, I would always be supportive of it. But I would kind of want to guide them towards not just like college, but the idea of, furthering your education, regardless of kind of exactly what path that might be. Like it doesn't really matter too much, but just always kind of having in mind to go further and further and further in expanding your mind. So the easiest way to put that into words is college, but really it's just anything that would, try and get them to keep learning and never give up on learning. So, but yeah, I would try for college until they told me they didn't really want college. They wanted like a different path. But that's okay. Okay, number 20. Finish these sentences. So I think I picked one for either mom or for dad. So for mom, you're a mom when you have baby spit up on your shirt at all times, and when you've been wearing a bun for days. At least an early mom, a mom of a newborn for sure. So those are all 20 questions. That was actually really fun to answer, and I didn't really look at all the questions beforehand, so maybe that's why some of my answers don't totally make sense. But it was really fun to do, and I hope it made my first cleaning video a little bit more interesting. So if you guys liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to do some more cleaning videos. I just gotta get the hang of it a little bit. But it was really fun to do, and these are definitely some of my favorite videos to watch. So I definitely want to do more of those. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.